The PGA Tour bombshell has finally detonated. Rolapp splits golf into two, and players now fight for survival inside the organization that once promised stability. A single bad season could shove a proven winner out of $20 million events and into a harsher series with smaller purses. The road back may be unforgiving. The real danger has barely surfaced. Public reactions sound calm. Scottie Scheffler welcomed stronger competition. Jordan Spieth viewed the model as a cleaner version of golf's existing status race. Rory McIlroy supported the direction after previously questioning the value of the secondary tier. Their confidence hides the pressure waiting underneath. Beginning in 2028, the Championship Series will control golf's premium stage. Its fields will contain the tour's strongest performers. Rising talent must prove itself through the Challenger Series. Established names who fall below the retention line will land there too. One injury could wreck a campaign. A cold stretch may erase millions in earning potential and strip away valuable exposure. Subscribe now because this battle could completely reshape careers overnight. Next, we reveal why the stars appear comfortable while the PGA Tour's middle class approaches a season where every point can decide who stays and who vanishes. The stars can afford to sound relaxed because this knife is not aimed directly at them. Scottie Scheffler expects stronger competition. Jordan Spieth sees a cleaner version of a status system golf already uses. Rory McIlroy ultimately backed the direction after questioning what the lower level might become. Their responses make the overhaul appear controlled. Look beneath that calm, however, and a different picture emerges. The PGA Tour is building a structure where security becomes scarce by design, and golfers near the boundary will absorb most of the damage. An excellent season should preserve elite access for leading names. Anyone hovering near the cutoff faces consequences that can follow him into the next year. A missed cut will no longer feel like one disappointing week. It could enter the calculation that removes a player from the Championship Series. That is where the title's survival angle becomes real. Nobody is being exiled from professional golf, but relegation strips away the version of PGA Tour life offering the largest purses, strongest fields, broad exposure, and clearest route toward valuable opportunities. Rolapp's model starts in 2028, though the pressure begins before the first ball is struck. Initial membership rules remain unfinished. Tournament directors still await the division of events, while sponsors must judge whether the new hierarchy strengthens their investment. The exact relegation number is unknown. Career exemptions have not been fully explained. Medical extensions, existing winter benefits, college pathways, Q school access, and developmental tour relationships also require answers. That uncertainty is not a minor detail. It is the suspense at the center of the overhaul. The PGA Tour has revealed the building's shape before assigning every room. Everyone can see the penthouse. Golfers near the middle still do not know how narrow the staircase will become. The Championship Series represents the top floor. Current plans call for roughly 23 or 24 events. That total should include about 15 regular season championship tournaments, the 4 majors, the Players' Championship, a redesigned postseason, and either the Ryder Cup or President's Cup, depending on the year. Regular season fields are planned around 120 players. 72-hole stroke play remains, followed by a cut to the top 65 and ties. Money makes the division impossible to ignore. Championship regular season events will carry purses of at least $20 million. Challenger tournaments start with at least $4 million. Nobody is guaranteed a share, but the available prize money creates an unmistakable class divide. A relegated golfer changes schedules and enters a competition with a much smaller weekly purse while attempting to reach events worth 5 times as much. The Challenger Series will not be insignificant. Tour officials intend to keep it within the PGA Tour, rather than present it as a renamed Korn Ferry Tour. Its calendar should contain at least 20 events, with fields reaching 144 players when conditions allow. Cuts will reduce those fields to the top 65 and ties. Several tournaments, staged during championship off weeks, are expected to receive extra attention and stronger competitive value. Branding cannot erase hierarchy. Premium inventory sits at the championship level, while challenger competition supplies the route upward. Rolapp can accurately describe one tour with 2 connected series. A player living through relegation may experience something closer to two different professional realities. Promotion provides hope, although the route is deliberately demanding. At least 20 players should rise from the challenger standings each season. Immediate elevation is available after 2 victories during the same campaign, while a major championship creates another exceptional route. Outside those conditions, one electric week will not normally unlock the premium tier. Sustained performance becomes the price of entry. That rule sounds fair until human cost enters the calculation. Golf offers no fixed environment. Form can disappear after a small swing change. Weather may destroy one side of a draw. Back trouble can turn a promising stretch into months of uncertainty, and putting sometimes cools without warning. Those familiar problems now carry a second edge because today's result can threaten tomorrow's status. Pressure also reaches championship members. At least 90 players will retain positions through the season-long standings. Reports around the plan have suggested membership near 130, but the tour has not announced a simple equation sending everybody outside the top 90 downward. Victories, medical provisions, career achievements, and other categories may protect additional members. A limited group can also recover elite places through the fall competition. That distinction matters because rage cannot replace accuracy. Exactly 40 golfers have not been confirmed for relegation. A more defensible conclusion is that dozens may enter the closing months without secure championship status. Anxiety will build through rankings, missed weekends, fading points, and shrinking chances rather than one dramatic announcement. The severe pressure arrives after the regular season. Players who fail to retain championship status can enter a domestic fall contest, expected to contain 4 to 6 events. Challenger golfers narrowly missing automatic promotion will join them, alongside other eligibility groups still being developed. Only a limited number of premium positions will remain. Consider the atmosphere around those weeks. A veteran could arrive with years of tour experience and several recognizable finishes behind him. Nearby stands a younger golfer who has spent the entire year chasing the same opportunity. Ordinary prize money is no longer the only reward. Their next season sits inside every approach shot, and one loose swing can turn a manageable hole into a status crisis. Rolapp's split becomes harsher than a normal reshuffle because championship members will generally remain within their series. Dropping into challenger tournaments for confidence or points will not ordinarily be available. Challenger members must work through their own schedule, except for special qualification routes elsewhere. Separate standings protect promotion's meaning while hardening the wall between both groups. Scarcity reaches every part of the ladder. Championship golfers require enough points for retention. Challenger contenders need exceptional consistency before promotion arrives. Anyone entering the fall series faces compressed judgment after months of work. Survival develops through several gates rather than one official cut line, and each gate can change a career's direction. Rolapp believes that pressure can improve the product. His background is rooted in sports media and commercial strategy. The logic resembles a television executive's answer to a scattered schedule. Concentrate leading players, simplify the stakes, create recognizable consequences, and make elite events feel important. Fans should quickly understand the top group, the danger zone, and the names moving upward. The redesigned postseason reinforces that philosophy. Match play is expected to enter the closing stage, while the Tour Championship will rotate among courses instead of remaining at East Lake. Exact formats are still unresolved. Even so, the intention is obvious. Increase consequence, sharpen television drama, and make qualification feel more valuable before relegation pressure reaches the fall. The PGA Tour has struggled with weeks when its biggest names choose different events. Signature tournaments increased concentration, yet small fields and exemption rules drew criticism. The Championship Series tries to solve both problems. Fields expand to about 120 players, and every regular season event includes a cut. Sponsor exemptions disappear at that level. Alternate lists also vanish. Members receive consistent access instead of relying on invitations or complicated entry categories. Those changes give Rolapp a powerful defense. This is not simply a velvet rope around famous names. Sponsors lose the ability to place preferred golfers inside premium fields through exemptions. Poor opening rounds will send popular players home with everyone else. Entry depends more heavily on earned status and performance than controls survival. Meritocracy can still produce brutal outcomes. Fair rules do not guarantee gentle results. An established winner might lose status after an injury-damaged campaign. Months of excellent challenger play could still leave a young golfer barely outside promotion. Another contender may win once, threaten repeatedly, and wait until season's end because immediate elevation normally requires 2 victories or a major. Power also shifts around tournaments. The Tour has discussed roughly 15 championship regular season stops, with an initial group already lined up. Final identities have not been published. New markets have been considered beside current venues. Until the schedule becomes official, declaring any historic tournament demoted would be inaccurate. Uncertainty still creates a second survival struggle. Championship status brings premium fields and minimum $20 million purses. Placement on the challenger calendar creates a different commercial position. Tradition may influence selection, although television value, sponsor investment, market size, course quality, and scheduling logic could matter as well. The final map may reveal which tournaments Rolapp considers essential. McIlroy recognized that danger before the plan became official. He described the proposed secondary level as glorified Corn Ferry events and worried about respected stops losing stature. Later support for the completed direction did not erase his original concern. It highlighted the tension between improving weekly competition and making everything outside the premium tier feel smaller. Scheffler's support comes from another angle. Larger fields and restored cuts make victories harder to dismiss. A champion would need to beat more players and survive the weekend line. Spieth has noted that professional golf already contains status movement, even when fans struggle to understand it. The new model places those consequences in plain view. That visibility could become Rolapp's greatest success. Relegation is easy to understand. A golfer near 90th place becomes part of a season-long story, and challenger leaders gain an identifiable objective. Fall tournaments stop feeling like an afterthought once careers are being decided. Standings acquire tension beyond the race for first place. Visibility can also become his largest problem because golf careers are more fragile than league franchises. Football clubs rebuild through transfers, academies, and ownership spending. An individual golfer carries his body, confidence, team, and expenses from week to week. Relegation lands on one person, then reaches coaches, caddies, agents, sponsors, and families. Complete removal from the tour is unnecessary for the damage to matter. Reduced access can change sponsorship value. Smaller television windows may weaken recognition. A less lucrative schedule makes travel and support costs harder to absorb. Major qualification could become less direct, depending on rankings and event access. Challenger membership still offers substantial opportunity, but falling from the premium tier will hurt. That pain is part of the design, even when officials use softer language. Promotion matters because relegation carries weight. Scarcity creates value by limiting equal access. Rolapp wants the championship badge to possess a clear meaning. Achieving that goal requires telling some established players that they no longer belong there. Safeguards may reduce the cruelty. Final rules could recognize injuries, victories, and meaningful career accomplishments. Fall tournaments offer another route back. A relegated player retains a structured pathway upward instead of facing permanent banishment. Every safeguard creates another question, however. Excessive exemptions could weaken meritocracy, whereas a narrow policy may punish circumstances beyond a golfer's control. Broad career protection might preserve famous names at the expense of rising talent. Rolapp must balance competitive purity against commercial reality, and those forces rarely agree. The unanswered LIV golf issue adds another layer. No confirmed rule explains where returning LIV players would enter this structure. Granting immediate championship access could anger members who earned status through the pathway. Starting major champions below might discourage returns. Creating special exemptions would challenge the promise of a cleaner premium series. Rolapp's eventual decision will test his merit-based language. Global pathways create further pressure. The PGA Tour's recent partnership with the DP World Tour and Asian Tour may widen opportunities across international golf, although that agreement has not announced a direct championship or challenger formula. Greater connection can strengthen the sport while sending more contenders toward a premium tier built around scarcity. Professional golf may therefore look more unified on paper by 2028, while becoming less forgiving inside the ropes. Championship competition concentrates value, challenger tournaments organize ambition, and fall events deliver judgment. Connection exists throughout the structure, but consequences travel with every movement. That is the real story behind the bombshell. Rolapp is not creating two rival tours. He is dividing the PGA Tour, so its top level becomes harder to enter and harder to keep. Stars appear comfortable because they trust their games to protect them. Middle-class professionals cannot borrow that confidence. Their futures may depend on a small collection of points gathered across months of travel, pressure, and uncertainty. Once the first 2028 standings move, nobody will debate whether survival sounds dramatic. Proven players may slide toward the line as challenger contenders attack every opening. Fans will discover which tournaments gained premium status and which remained outside. Arguments become personal when recognizable careers carry visible consequences. Rolapp's gamble is clear. Scarcity may restore meaning to PGA Tour membership, while stronger fields improve television. Fresh heroes could emerge through promotion, and relegation may give ordinary Sundays sharper stakes. The same structure can fracture locker room comfort by exposing how thin the line is between privilege and uncertainty. Golf has spent years fighting over rival leagues, guaranteed money, loyalty, and power. Rolapp's next conflict moves inside his own organization, where a points list becomes the battlefield and premium access becomes the prize. Failure means another season spent trying to return. Subscribe now and tell us whether Rolapp is saving the PGA Tour or creating a class system that will destroy its middle tier.